Brilliant person, what are you doing? How are you? I'm sure you're analyzed it countless times. What do children need from their parents to become well-adjusted adults? And you're wondered how to make children feel safe, seen, heard, encouraged, validated, unconditionally loved. The answers right away in this video. Hi, welcome or welcome back. My name is Luana Kadar. I am a trainer and personal development counselor. On this channel, I share with you the way in which to build the life you want. If you want to learn more about how to improve your quality of life, achieving your personal aspirations and dreams, then I invite you to subscribe to this channel. I post a new video every Friday. Click the bell in order to receive notifications every time I upload a new video. And when you feel like doing a personal development counseling session, you can kindly request an appointment by writing to me at the email address now displayed on the screen. Today I want to talk to you about ways to meet the needs of children and raise them happy. The childhood years are crucial in our emotional development and have a major impact on how we perceive ourselves as adults. To become a good parent, you need to go through the process of self-discovery, understanding yourself, knowing what your hurts are, and knowing what to do with them so you don't pass them on to your children. This also involves soul skills that we don't learn in school. Being a parent comes with a lot of pressure in trying to do what's best for your child. This search also comes with confusion. There are so many exams in life: getting into high school, college, getting your driver's license, and more, but not an exam that guarantees that you will be a good parent. We think about all the details in giving our child the best possible: the best food, the best clothes, the best quality things, the best doctors, the best school, and so on. However, what our children need from us on an emotional level is a little simpler than we might think. The basis of a happy childhood is not complex parenting strategies, but simple things like caring, acceptance, attention, gentleness, patience, and especially love. Research suggests that the most important way to raise healthy children with their needs met, not their whims, is to make them feel safe, seen, heard, encouraged, validated. But what does this entail? Does making them feel safe mean you have to keep them with your 24/7 or encourage them to build other safe relationships? Does reassuring them mean keeping them away from challenging situations or teaching them tools to manage their emotions? Does making them feel seen mean bolstering their self-image with lots of praise or paying attention to them and adapting to their needs? Analyzing your relationship with your parents, you may realize that parenting is not easy. No matter how hard you try to be perfect, you will make mistakes at some point, and you have to accept that. Raising a child who later becomes a healthy, well-adjusted adult is not about perfection, but about something much more tangible: a genuine connection established through emotion. Emotions are very important in our development as balanced adults. Meeting a child's emotional needs is not easy or without challenges. We can do this with every challenge we face as parents by following certain principles that can serve as guidelines. 1. Helping the child feel seen and heard. Making sure they feel seen and heard by us means striving to find out who they really are, separate from our own projections. Here are some things to focus on. The first and easiest step is to make sure we take the time to listen to our children. While we are trying to raise our children, we often have countless other pressures in our lives. It's easy to get lost in our own personal affairs. Listening to our children makes them feel understood for who they really are and for whatever situation they are going through. Children will not always be logical and their emotions may not always make sense to us, but our willingness to be with them and listen to them matters a lot to them. We should hear what they have to say and show them this so that they know we are listening to them. Children need tailored responses. Answers like, "I understand that this is hard for you," or "I'm sorry you feel overwhelmed by this," can go a long way to helping them feel seen. We should try to create a safe environment in which our children can open up, talk without being defensive or argumentative about their unique experience, of course. Sometimes our parents might have ignored us because they were too busy or in adult discussion or too tired for us. And today most parents are too preoccupied with their lives, with their phones, so the children are left in the care of nannies or grandparents. But children need to be seen and heard by their parents for everything they do or feel. They want to be applauded for every good grade, for every achievement, or maybe just for a simple joke they've made. Children need to grow up knowing that they are important to the people they love. Isn't it wonderful when you feel seen, heard, and accepted just as you are? Children need someone who can see them as they are and give them real, honest feedback. Despite the belief of many, children do not need exaggerated and incessant appreciation and praise. I always tell him how great he is, that's how he'll trust himself, nor constant criticism, be it positive, but a consistent mirroring offered sincerely but also gently, realistically. The way in which the significant people in our life see us and their reactions to us, but also the image we build of ourselves, is based on the things we feel and experience as children. 2. Avoiding labels. From the day they are born, it's easy to label our children. Fussy baby, boss baby, shy baby, or bright teenager. These labels can shape our child's sense of identity, and even more, their actions shape the labels. Children begin to believe about themselves what they are told. They will internalize these labels and will end up telling them to themselves all the time. If you tell yourself all the time that I'm not good because your mother always told you so, you will most likely end up being that way. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Using verbal patterns is a mistake. Labeling a person in general and a child in particular can have multiple negative consequences, no matter whether it is occasional or constant, whether it expresses what you believe or is a form of revenge. If it is uttered with the desire to set the record straight or to highlight. Negative labeling leads to shame, and this ends up destroying child's self-esteem. Positive labels, in turn, lead to arrogance and an overly high opinion of oneself. In addition, labeling a child does not give him the chance to grow, develop, and change. He knows, for example, that he is shy because his parents have always told him so, and he will most likely always look for those situations where he will behave more withdrawn. A child who is told he is stupid will sooner or later confirm the label. Words have powerful and long-term effects. We become what others say or think we are, at least until an age when confirmation is important. We behave according to the label we put on our foreheads. When the label is put on us in the early years of life, even by our closest adults, it is taken as such by the child, who will come to believe about himself that he is as the label says: naughty, bad, shy, lazy, crazy, weird, stupid, and so on. A child who is aggressive and is often told so will become more and more aggressive, even though we want the exact opposite. All the choices and behaviors of children who internalize the label will be made based on this belief and self-image, thus limiting the full development of the potential that each child carries within himself. It is important to avoid definitions and labels that may only be a reflection of ourselves or who we want our child to be. Often, our perception of our children is affected by our own projections. We may even find ourselves complaining about them unconsciously when we go on autopilot, not analyzing the consequences, or we may do the opposite and want to see them in an overly positive light, putting them labels like smartest or cutest. These seemingly positive labels can also be destructive, making children feel that they are valuable only if they live up to our expectations. It is much better to try to avoid defining statements and instead to be curious about who they are and how they are developing, and also to support what interests and enlightens them, showing that we are there for them no matter what. Confidence and self-esteem are formed since childhood, and the encouragement that comes from parents is very important. You are the first person he will look to for that you can do this. That motivates him to overcome his fears and show the world what he can do. And he also needs you to tell him that failure is not the end of the world, that he will pick himself up and try again until he succeeds. Your parents may not have told you that you can be friends with failure, that this can become the lesson that helps you achieve success. Failure is the biggest monster even when we reach adulthood, because we were taught from a young age to fear it. 3. Separating your experience from his. To see our children clearly, we should try to look at our own past. As we mature, we realize things that when we were young, we could not define or express, even if we felt them. We couldn't even define how they made us feel or affected us. We didn't have the tools to process emotions because in most families certain emotions, the negative ones, were not accepted, had no space to be expressed. And then we grew up believing that we were not allowed to express those emotions until they became unimportant to us. Children need to express their emotions in a safe environment without being punished for how they feel. When parents pay attention to their child's emotions, they make them feel understood and accepted. When they are young, children learn to recognize and then name their emotions through direct interaction with the parent. For example, when the child cries, the parent may say, "I see you are crying. You probably feel sad." Or when they see the child fidgeting around the room, "I noticed you threw your toy hard at the wall. Is there something that made you feel angry?" Listening to and validating the child's emotions give him a sense of security, which will help him to regulate his emotion, to calm down. Support in managing the emotional states he feels is essential for the child's daily well-being. The way parents express and manifest their own emotions has the power to influence and shape the externalization of the child's emotions. Minimizing, ignoring or ridiculing child's emotions or opinions is experienced by the child as a rejection that damages the relationship between parent and child. In order to separate our experience from that of our children, we could answer the following questions. How have we been treated in our family? How were we seen? In what ways might we compensate for these patterns? For example, if we were treated as a burden in our family, do we see our child in the same way and do we feel disappointment by his demands? Or do we feel sorry for our child, worrying that he will feel the way we have and we still overcompensate by doing too much for him? If the information I provided was interesting and useful, I invite you to like and share this video with your friends. I am convinced that it will be useful to some. Join the list of subscribers and click the bell in order to receive notifications every time I upload a new video on this channel. Here you will find sources of inspiration if you are facing unhappiness and unfulfillment, or you have difficulties in adapting or feel a strong desire for change, maturation and personal development. And when you feel like doing a personal development counseling session, you can kindly request an appointment by writing to me at the email address now displayed on the screen. We meet every Friday with new topics to help you build the life you want, overcome barriers, identify and develop your talents and skills. Until next time, I wish you to live, not just exist. With thanks and gratitude, Luana Kadar.